Make it happen, Captain. And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, how are y'all doing? Welcome to a bonus episode here of the Sick Boy Lounge, and we are doing the Recon episode with my buddy Beezus, because we're recapping the latest convention. Yeah, we're recapping the latest convention. So, you know,
love it, man.
Cheesy taglines.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, bro. It's always a pleasure to be on here. You're one of my best buds. You're one of my homies.
Hell yeah, man.
My brothers from another mother. So it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to talk to you about all these experiences, man.
I love it. I love it because I get to like live vicariously through like another person's eyes and like getting to see all the cool stuff that I would love to be seeing and that I will eventually see one day. But it still offers like a really cool chance to like talk about all the really awesome shit that's going on that we all have a passion for and that we all really love talking about and participating in these games, these crazy games that just take all of our money and take all of our time.
Dude, so much of our money, dude. It's insane. I try not to think about it. It's like, if I went a whole year without spending a dime on a video game, like, how much money would that be?
I don't know.
I would probably own a home. I'd probably have a very nice car. Like, I would be a typical responsible adult. But that's not me,
not the case.
That's just some.
It's
some
like
people do it. Some people it puzzles me that I know people that are my age that like when I get into any inkling of a conversation that has to do with video games, it's like. They're just so disconnected, and they're just like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
But it's funny. It's like if it's not games for someone else, it's going to be something else. Like it's guns, or it's comic books, or it's fucking people still collect DVDs nowadays. Like those are collector's items.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things that people spend money on, like needlessly. And it's just random bullshit that we don't actually need, but it's fun and it's entertaining and it gives us this, I don't know, sense of enjoyment for not necessarily just owning it, but it gives us an escape in some cases, And I definitely use gaming as an escape every once in a while if the day's been particularly stressful. I mean, there are some games that you can virtually just get lost in, and that's very relaxing sometimes.
Oh, dude, you're preaching to the choir.
Right, yeah, exactly. That's why I like having people like you on here, because we can talk about this kind of stuff and share a similar passion with other folks that might be joining us here. And so I mean it's equally enjoyable for me as it is for anyone else that comes on to do this. So I'm glad it's awesome for you too, man.
Are you still playing some Dead Cells?
I am still fucking away at fucking Dead Cells, dude.
Nice.
There's still parts of that game that I can't get into yet. So it's like a matter of like unlocking all the abilities and everything that are necessary to keep progressing. For a platformer, it's a grindy little game, man. Like it's surprising.
It's pretty nuts. I've actually started a second playthrough because now I know like what weapons I should and should not unlock.
Right.
So it's like now I'm just like collecting blueprints without necessarily like, especially now that I know that when you get into the point where like you're in between stages.
Right.
You don't have to spend your cells. You can just break the door.
What?
Yeah. Once you
I
learn
didn't fucking know that,
dude. It's not explicit. Like you have to learn that. So yeah, like you can just like look at me, bro. I'm literally playing Dead Cells as we speak. Like that's how bad it is.
You're an
like,
addict.
I'm telling you, man. So yeah, no. When you're in when you're right there with the collector, the very first encounter with him, he's like, "Yo, you can't move on until you spend all your cells." That's a lie. You can walk right past them. You can hit the door and you can break the door and you can move on to the next section. Now the other section you have to like get a mutation before you move on. Like that is a must.
Okay.
But the spending of the cells, that's a bunch of horse shit, bro. You don't have to do it. You can hold on to your cells and you can move on.
That motherfucker.
Yeah, bro. he
That's
really
fucking
fucks
crazy.
it
But
all up.
that's a testament to that game though, because nothing about that game is spelled out for you.
No, not at all.
Except for like how to move and how to punch. That's about it.
Yeah.
Like that's all they give you. It's literally the 2D version of Dark Souls. Like the comparison is spot on.
Yeah, it's definitely in that realm for sure. And you know what? I really like seeing the boom in these 2D games. That game Blood, what is it? Bloodstained?
Bloodstained, yes.
Yeah, I really want to play that game. That
That
game
does
looks
look good.
amazing, bro. And if I'm not mistaken, it's from the creators of Castlevania. So that's literally the closest thing to Castlevania we're ever gonna get.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it's published by 505. And I got a couple of homies at 505, and every so often, I don't like to bother them about it, but every so often I'm like, yo, fam, man. Like, if I gotta buy it, I'll buy it. But like,
yeah, this isn't the first time I've heard you mention them.
Like, I gotta, yeah, 505. Yeah, I have a good buddy of mine over there. His name is Slate. He goes by the alias Nelstar on Twitter.
Okay.
Really cool dude. He actually had a birthday party while we were in LA for E3. It was like our last night there. He had it was his birthday, so I hung out with him and a bunch of other people that I've made friends with over the course of these shows. So that was cool, man. But yeah, he's one of those guys there, and it's like they're doing good, man. Control is on fucking Epic. Like,
that looks pretty good too.
Like, and that's a AAA title, bro. Like,
yeah.
Like the 505 is really they're really coming out there and putting some heavy hitters out there, man. So
that's good.
Yeah, man. I love to see like smaller, lesser known companies, especially in like, video game companies specifically, like come up and like rise into the ranks. It won't be long before you're looking at like a 505 booth at like E3 or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly. And what's great, and I was actually getting into not necessarily an argument, but there was some disagreements about the POV as to how Epic Games, the current state of Epic Games and how they're treating games and treating developers and so on and so forth. From what I've been reading, they are doing really well by these developers, especially the small fry guys. Like the percentage for give and take is more in the developers' favor than they are for like Steam.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. So I mean, shit, as far as I'm concerned, that's better for any developer or publisher that decides to put their game on there, man. It's it's a good platform, dude. Like it's probably one of the most reputable platforms that's out there right now. They're making boatloads of money.
Oh, for sure.
They're doing something right, man. Like,
yeah, dude. Say what you want about Fortnite and say what you want. I've had my sour words about Epic in the past in regards to games like Paragon and stuff, but I mean, time does pass, as cheesy as it might be and cliche, but now they're doing really well, like you said, and they're doing right by some of these developers. One of my favorite games currently is on that platform with Dauntless. That game is just fun as fuck.
Man, I've been seeing a lot of that game.
Dude, if you ever wanted to experience Monster Hunter, but you didn't feel comfortable spending the money on it, that is a great introduction to games like that.
Oh,
and it's free to play. Yeah, and it's free to play. It's it's another one of those grindy looter type games, but it seems like you're more rewarded for it through that game than you are others of that similar type of economy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, you can't say no to free. Like,
yeah,
at the very least, you should just try it.
And those games are doing really well this past year too. What is it? 1047 just hit real big with Splitgate, that new arena shooter. I mean, no one saw that one coming except for the few people that were able to do the beta and the closed alpha and stuff. But
I've seen that game go from like an idea,
it's
like that has potential, to like the behemoth that it has become.
Right.
And it's like it's polished. It's pretty nuts, man. Your boy FMG Kamikaze plays it, man.
Yes, he does. Yeah, a couple of the FMG guys have either been a part of it or are currently playing it, and yeah, I mean it's well received. That games of that style did well in the past for a reason. They were a lot of fun. The Halo Arena multiplayer version, or the multiplayer mode and stuff, that game was fun as fuck. Yeah, that still has a hard cult following for that generation, for that title. So games of that style, that they may not get the notoriety they once did, but the I think the demand for that style of game is still very much alive.
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt, dude. The arena shooter, the competitive shooter, there's always going to be a spot for that. That brings me to one of the games I discovered while I was at E3. Man,
Tell me about it.
let me tell you about this game that I'm extremely excited for,
Okay.
Paul. It is called Quantum League.
Yes, you were telling me about this the other day.
Man, that game is nuts, dude. So it's really hard to explain because it's so far fetched. But when you play it and you get in the rhythm of it, you start to realize the potential that this game has, and it's
Okay.
kind of scary. Like I I hope for nothing but the best for the guys that have made these games. So check this out. It's a 1v1 arena shooter
1v1.
that turns, yes,
Okay.
but it turns into a 3v3 due to time paradox, time travel mechanics. So you play in intervals of 15 seconds. So the objective is to make it to the center of the map, or I mean, that's one map. The objective is to make it to an area of the map and to hold that area of the map.
Okay.
Now you play in 15-second intervals. So for all intents and purposes, you like, let's say there's a circular arena, right?
Mm-hmm.
You both players start on each side of the arena. The match starts, and then you have a choice to choose a sniper, an SMG, a shotgun, a grenade launcher, and then once you make that choice, that's your weapon for the round, and you can also alternate between a pistol. So
Okay.
that's the gunplay, and the gunplay feels nice. It needs work, but it's a very, very, very in alpha game. So I mean, that'll improve, I'm sure.
Right.
But so each player, the match starts, and you want to move to the center. However you do it is up to you. The cool part is once the 15 seconds is up, time rewinds and you go back to where you were. Now, when time rewinds, the next match starts. So it's like basically it's in rounds.
Okay.
When you start the next match, you're a new part of yourself, but a clone of you is also on the field as well. And that clone is exactly what you just did on that previous 15-second interval. So you're going to see a clone of yourself doing exactly what you just did. So let's say you go in a straight line and you go directly to the center platform. You're going to see your clone go directly because it's exactly what you did. It's time travel.
Right.
And you, as an alternate form of yourself, you can then take an alternate route. So you can go up to the top. You can kick back and snipe. The metas are going to be insane in terms.
They're going to be all over the place.
Strategy. And what's really cool is the fact that paradoxes are very much a thing. So if you, let's say, so your first clone, you move forward, and your opponent headshots you and takes you out. Now you have that information. So now on the second set, you, as a player, knowing that you're going to get taken out, can reposition yourself so you can take out the person that killed you, preventing yourself from dying in the first place. So now your clone that died is now alive.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Bro, it's bizarre to think about, but when you play it and you start getting in the rhythm of it, it just becomes such a blast to play.
Now, the cloned version of yourself, does that also still do damage to the enemy player?
Yes,
what
it does.
The fuck? So you can actually team up with your clone and create strategies from your past experience. That's fucking cool.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that idea.
Dude, I'm telling you, when I saw it, it took me a bit. I was like, okay, this is weird. But then when the guy, when the CEO was hovering over my shoulder, he was explaining everything to me. I started looking at him. I'm like, you son of a bitch. This is a fucking amazing idea, dude. This is such a cool game, dude. Bro, it's gonna be nuts, man. I'm playing with my cousin, who is also very big into competitive games of any sort. He's like a really good Rocket League player.
Okay.
But when I put up the code, when I came back, he jumped on it. He DM'd me immediately. He goes, yo, dude, I'm all over that. So I started playing with him, and we're having a blast playing the game. Again, it needs work. It's an alpha,
cool,
but
man.
the very idea of the game is just nutty as fuck, man. Think about it. You can literally first round, you can just fire shots into the center, where you know. and then like you can your second clone, you have that cover fire now, and then you can move in and like it, bro, like it's nuts. Now when you die, you if you die within the 15-second time frame, you have like a spirit of yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
you can go pick up a health pack. If you pick up the health pack, you come back to life, and you can like change the course. It's nuts, man. Like that's the thing. Like just because you kill somebody, like if the match is not over, you have to be wary of the fact that like they're probably going to go to any one of the given health packs. So it becomes of like a game like shit. Which health pack is he going to go to? Because you can't see him. He's invisible to
Oh
you.
my
He might just
god,
pop up
dude.
behind you and like take your ass out. So and then if
That's
that
fucking
happens,
crazy.
dude, I'm telling you, like me speaking about it doesn't justify it. Like it's such an experience to play it, and once you like at first it's kind of like a mind fuck, like okay, this is weird, but once you start getting into it, you start developing strategies. Like all right, I'm gonna go here, and then next round I'm gonna go here. Um, and then once the paradoxes start flopping over each other,
Mm-hmm.
it just becomes chaos, dude. And it just like sometimes it's like oh shit, what happened? Because you can't sometimes like you forget like sometimes the rounds keep going over and over again and you forget oh shit, I was behind myself. Now here's another thing, friendly fire is a thing. You can shoot your
What?
clone, and if you don't remember where you were previously, you can put yourself in a situation where maybe you walk in front of your clone while he's shooting, you take the damage, and your opponent is like oh look, half health, pop, done. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really
What?
backtrack. You have to really understand like what your clone was doing. You know, you have to really understand that when you create a paradox, what that's going to result in. It's man,
Wow.
yeah, dude. And then they were
Wow.
telling me that not only are they're probably not they're probably they're working on duos. They're working on doing 2v2. And that's man, that
That's gonna be absolutely bananas.
as it is, man, 1v1 is absolutely bananas. So the fact that they're considering doing 2v2, that's going to be great. And like the maps are really cool. Like there's another map that they just did where rather than it being equidistant from the start, the objective is a race. It's like a kind of like a cone shaped map, and each player starts on each side, and then the objective is at the very edge, and there's only one
Wow.
health pack. So it's like if you kill somebody, you know exactly where they're going to come from. So it's man, it gets really fun, man. It's
That sounds fucking badass. That
I'm
is
telling you,
like
dude.
the most unique idea for a multiplayer game that I've heard in like a number of years.
Yeah, same. When I saw it, it was like a drink of like water. I was like, oh my god, an FPS shooter with a mechanic that I would have never imagined.
Yeah.
This is gold right here. Like
This is
I am so behind that game.
a very innovative team that's working on this thing. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and they're really heavily pushing it to be in like the esports scene, and you know, that was the little bit of it that like kind of left me a little, but like it has a lot of potential to be an esport. Like it definitely
Yeah.
does. Like the amount of strategy and IQ going into that, like the amount of mind games that you can create, like it's pretty fucking nuts, dude. Like there's gonna be some like 4,000 IQ level plays going on, and we're just gonna be like, yo, like that's nuts, dude. Like,
yeah, the highlight reels are definitely gonna make a comeback on YouTube with a
and
game
that's
like
the cool
that.
thing. I'm glad you mentioned the highlight reel because it does this really cool thing. Hey, what's up, Zombie? What's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining
Hey,
us.
Zombie, what's up, man?
So that's the really cool thing about it. At the very end, after the match concludes, you get a free roam camera that you get to use to hover over the map, and it shows you the match in real time. It shows you all three versions of yourself simultaneously going against the other three guys.
Chilling. Good, man. Nice for you to join us. We're talking about this really wacky fucking game called Quantum League that Beezus had a chance to try out and view over at E3. And I don't even know that we could. You got to play it. Yeah. I don't know that we can we can accurately recap what we just discussed because the game really does. It seems like what the game is going to do is going to evolve as the match goes on, because what he was talking about is like you play in these 15-second intervals, which is already really nuts to think about because 15 seconds is nothing. And then you throw on top of it this weird mechanic where you're then playing with the previous clone of yourself.
Yep.
And then the whole thing is kind of flipping my brain around right now because I'm
It's
trying
awesome.
to imagine it without actually playing it. But the idea is so incredibly unique. Like I think this game, they need to be careful about it because it could potentially do what Apex did and do like really strong out of the gate and then start to just kind of taper down a bit.
No,
So
this
they
game is
do
definitely gonna
yeah.
it's gonna be a niche of a game for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like the community is really gonna like drive that game for sure. Like it's
Okay.
and I mean the developers themselves, they're very hands on. They're very active with their community. I'll try to see if I can get you a code, man. They're really good about that. They're like, yeah, like when I was there, they gave me like 3 codes right there. They're like, yeah,
No
you're gonna
shit.
want to play this with people. Yeah, like they're super good about that. So I'll try to see if I can get you. I wanted to stream it immediately when I was playing with my cousin. I wanted to stream it, but then apparently, like my cousin also looked into it, and apparently they're under ND. So it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, if it's still in like an early alpha stage like that, the NDA thing makes sense. There's a few Spellbreak. Spellbreak is currently like that. Like they're under an NDA for a closed alpha kind of thing right now. And
really,
Splitgate was like that when it was first in its alpha stage and stuff. Yeah, so I mean that makes sense, especially for a game that's coming out with like some really unique mechanics like that. That's probably doing. They're probably working on some like proprietary in-house type stuff that they don't want to get out.
Oh yeah, no, the technology that goes behind it is really crazy.
Yeah, so that makes total sense.
Yeah, but I'm really excited for that game. I cannot wait to see the development of that game. I've already played it plenty with my cousin. I played him like we probably played for like a good 3 hours straight our first session. And like I made a lot of notes. I emailed the CEO directly. I was like, "Yo, man, pleasure meeting you. Thank you for showing me the game. Here's my thoughts." I keyboard warrior. But I even apologized. Like, "Yo, there's probably a proper channel, but like I'm just, like I mean this in the most sincere form of flattery that I'm so excited for this game that I just wanted to tell you my thoughts specifically."
Right.
And there, it's all probably stuff that they're very aware of. In terms of like the things that are kind of broken, the things that they're
yeah.
But yeah, dude, like the game is just the idea is what excites me. That concept is so fucking cool, dude. Just time paradoxes, time travel in a fucking first person shooter in real time, like it's just nuts, dude.
So yeah, having a time travel feature like that be a main feature of the game and not just a unique like ability mechanic within a specific character. That's something really special too, because now that's really evening the play. That's going to make an even playing field, and it's going to make it come down to specifically gameplay skill alone as to who comes out on top for that game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a level playing field. There's no hero abilities. So there's no like class. Like it's very like everyone has the same shit. Like, so the only difference is really just like the character models, which is what drew me into the game on the first place. The art style is very Overwatchy. Like it's it's comparable to Overwatch in terms of like the art style, and that's what drew me in. It was the visuals that got me in. I was like, "Yo, looks like Overwatch. It's a shooter. I'm in this bitch." I sat down, I started playing, and I was like, "Wait a second, what the fuck is going on?" And then the his name is Martin, the CEO. He goes, "I've seen that face before. Let me explain." And at that point, I was just like, "Holy shit!"
This is not their first show.
Meanwhile, like, and this was a cool thing because where I discovered this game it was an event called The Mix. I forgot the location, but it was like in a building. Excuse me. There's a lot of shit that goes on at E3 off-site on E3.
Okay.
And this is one of those things that was off-site, like off the beaten path of E3. And they rented a whole floor in this building, and it was really cool because like it goes completely around, and like it was a whole floor that got rented out, and the Mix is basically a showcase for indie developers.
Oh.
So yeah, like it's the indie titles that always win my heart when I go to these events, man. The AAA titles, they're cool, yeah, it's great, but it's those indies that are just these gems, man. These like really really solid games, dude. Like for example, Super Crush KO. I'm telling you, if you don't know about that game is gonna be a Switch destroyer. That game is going to be so good. Like it's a beat 'em up. It's a side scroller beat 'em up. It's got a really cool color palette. It's like a very pink, very vibrant game, but it's a beat 'em up. Like there's really no other way to say it. Like you move in stages. You have like a melee ability. You have a projectile ability, a dash ability, and it just feels good. Everything flows. Like it's very combo centric. So it's like you can punch, dash, shoot, and like all have it all flow together. The game really encourages like utilizing your abilities in such a way that you combo against your enemies. It's a lot
Okay.
of fun. And I discovered that game in PAX East, so I saw them again there, and I was like, I already know you guys. I've been blowing you guys up to work with you guys. I have, man. Every like maybe once every 2 weeks, I'll like hit them up on Twitter and just be, yo, if you guys ever need PCs at an event, let me know. And they're like, oh, so like it was cool. Like it's just cool to see all these indie titles like that. Like they're just like, they're so small. Like there's just like these teams of like one or two people, and like
Yeah.
they make these gems of a game. Like
The
it's nuts.
the last beat 'em up style that I guess you were sitting there describing that game, I was like, man, that sounds an awful lot like Charlie Murder. Charlie Murder was this multiplayer beat 'em up that you could actually play with a party of like 4 people. It's made by this little company called Ska Studios. It's literally a 2-person team. They've made Charlie Murder, they've made Salt and Sanctuary. They got a couple of like I forget the name of the game, but like there's all these like really dark overtones and like horror type themes to their games and stuff. But their Charlie Murder was like this Double Dragon style like beat 'em up type game that was
I'm
just like,
looking at it. Yeah, the Game Grumps played it, so that was good. That's a good thing for them if the Game Grumps picked them up.
oh dude, they're I mean they make some really, like you said, these gems of a game, and it's really interesting to see how like we have all of this amazing hardware and technology to use to build all these crazy fucking like looking and playable games and stuff, and the ones that are really knocking it out of the park are these little miniature game dev teams of like 2 to 5 people that are crushing out these crazy 2D style side scrolling platformers. And it's just like, it's almost like in the 90s when bell bottoms came back in style.
Yeah.
It's like everyone has a craving. It's like, you know what? This shit was really fun when I was a kid. This is probably still fun now. And it is. And people are like just kind of, I guess, waking back up to what games are and what they used to be and how they still can be.
And that's the thing. Like it's kind of a double-edged sword because like it's a very like the indie game market is a very saturated market. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's tough to take that leap of faith in any given game,
Right.
and say I want to give this a shot, and then you give it a shot and it's just like, it's admittedly it's just a bad game.
Right. Yeah.
And unfortunately, in a saturated market, there's going to be more bad games than good games. That's just, I mean, and mind you, all of that, is a matter of opinion. What
Oh, for
what you
sure.
might consider a great game, I might be like, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just nuts, and it's events like these that really provide these developers with an outlet to showcase their game and put it in the public eye, and talk to people face to face, to
Yeah.
explain like their vision behind the game. And I feel like if you're a developer, if you're a game developer and you're really trying to be serious, then you need to make that investment. You need to get a spot in a PAX booth. You need in an indie mega booth. You need to go to these events like the Mix. Like it's what's gonna make your game more successful than just that random game that's at the bottom of the Steam list. Like you have to do it. You as a developer have to take that leap of faith, and you have to be confident that your product is going to draw people in. And that's what I'm seeing on these events, man. It's just an opportunity for the people that are really taking their game seriously to to really showcase it. On that note, I will say, don't don't be the developer that takes an unfinished product to the show floor, because that's a really bad look.
Yeah. That seems like you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot.
Like that's a really bad look. I ran into, I'm not gonna name drop the game,
well,
but
of course
when I
not.
was
Yeah.
when I was in Boston, there was a game that I was like, like every single action I took, the guy had to like tell me, no, you have to do this because this doesn't work or this doesn't work, and it's just like, bro, like
What?
what are you doing?
So, like, how can I even play your game then?
Yeah, exactly. And I even told him, I'm like, sorry, man, like I just don't like it when people tell me what to do. I'd rather discover that on my own.
Yeah.
And if you have to sit there and you have to tell me everything, then that defeats the point of your game. That defeats the point of your game being good.
Well,
So
yeah,
like,
for sure. Because like, how can you expect the player that is going to pay for your game and then download it at home? You're not going to be there to stand over that guy's shoulder and tell them, oh, well, you can't use that feature. You have to do it this way. Like, that's that, and it defeats the whole purpose of being, out there in the public eye in the first place, because you're trying to
yeah,
draw attention to your product. And if you're drawing attention to a bad product or a product that's
yeah.
unfinished, that in its current state is bad, that may potentially be good when you've made more progress with it. But how's anyone ever going to know that now?
Exactly, because the first impression of it is, man, that game was shit,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And that's just it. So if you're gonna take your game to a show floor, have it be almost ready. Like have it be like good. You know what I'm saying? It better
Yeah,
be damn near finished with like little polishing. You get what I'm saying? Like once you're confident that you have a finished product and something that you can actually like be confident that you can
right.
just give someone and let them play it, then okay. But yeah, don't be the few that I've encountered where it's like, no, you because people have this. What's up, Kamikaze? We were just talking
Kamikaze.
about you earlier, buddy. Yeah, it's don't because it's exactly that. You're just shooting yourself in the foot. You're making a very bad first impression in your game, and it's because people just have this notion that like, oh, like if I go to PAX or if I go to E3 and I showcase my game there, it's gonna be successful, and that's not the case. That's not the case at all. Like
there's a certain pride you have to take in your work if you're going to show it in front of a group of people, especially for a group of people that can potentially be as large as the ones at APAX East or at an E3 or something like that. And I mean, that's also people that are immediately going to pull out their phones, go to their Twitter pages and be like, you guys, I just played this shit-tastic game at PAX East and they're called so-and-so, they're made by so-and-so, do not go get this game.
yeah, exactly. And
and information now travels at the speed of however fast your fingers can carry it.
Yeah, of course.
So I mean, all it takes is two or three people that have at least a few thousand followers. That's the end of your game, dude.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah, you missed it, man. Well, we were talking about you in conjunction with Splitgate, I believe.
Nah, bro. This guy Sickboy was saying that you ugly as don't lie. But yeah, man. So the mix was a great event, and the mix is such a cool thing because you can realistically like the thing is that night that Kevin and I were there, Kevin Washaleski, the CEO of Origin PC.
Mm-hmm.
That night we were there, our schedule was stacked. We had so much to do that night. In terms of going to parties, going to meetings, so like that was just one of like 8 things that we had to do.
Wow.
But when we were there, we realized like, yo, you can spend a whole night here and get mad contacts in terms of like partners to work with that might need hardware for trade shows upcoming. And Kevin, Kevin's a veteran. Kevin's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
I sit down, I play Quantum League for like 20 minutes, and Kevin's already like circled the whole place. Like, but my whole philosophy is like, if I'm gonna sit down in front of one of these developers, I'm not just gonna touch your game and be like, yeah, that's cool, nice to meet you.
Right.
And I get it. You got to move quick. You got to get all your contacts, especially if you have a schedule to keep to. Me, like, I appreciate that, like, those people are there. They probably spent a lot of money to get there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you write a book, right? Like, and you say, here, I want you to read this book. Like, you're not gonna like open the book, read the first sentence, and be like, yeah, this is a good book. You know what I'm saying? Like. You want to at least like, you know what? Let me read the first chapter. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to.
Yeah. No, you make a very good point. You make a very solid point.
So I want to sit there and I want to experience the game and give that developer the satisfaction of playing their game.
Right.
And there was a couple, but the one that stood out to me the most was Quantum League. Man, Quantum League for me was like that thing. That game is going to be insane, bro. I cannot wait to see that game blow up.
Did they give you any kind of inclination as to when like they'll be making any more announcements, or maybe when like a playable like open beta or anything like that?
Not any announcements, but open beta I believe is going to be as early as August, man.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So not too far, not too far
right around the corner.
Yeah,
right around the corner.
So if you're just coming in, we were talking about this game like he just said, Quantum League. and it has got a lot going on.
Yeah.
This little multiplayer arena shooter that also has these time travel type elements to it, where you're then reversed at the end of the match, and then you're playing along with the clone of your previous self, and it's crazy. Is there anything online, like a trailer or like a
Yeah, what I was gonna
anything?
do is I was gonna find the GDC conference, and I was gonna put it there
Okay.
for anybody that might be interested in watching it.
Yeah. We'll put the link in the chat. We'll put the link in the chat. You guys can, if you don't know, GDC is the Game Developers Conference. They get real nerdy about everything gaming and like coding and development. And I actually saw Mick Gordon's GDC conference that he did for the soundtrack for Doom 2016. That was fucking amazing. That guy's a musical genius. And so yeah, a lot of really cool like nerdy tech talk. It's the TED Talk for video games.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. For video games and for a bunch of dude, enjoy that, please. It's trust me, it's a great idea. It's a great concept. And you play first-person shooters, specifically. You play Splitgate Kamikaze. That within itself is a fucking bizarre concept of a game. Portal, Halo together. This is gonna fucking knock your socks off, dude. Wait till you see this shit, bro. I'm telling you, it has a lot of potential, man. A lot of potential.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, dude. I cannot wait. The second they lift that NDA, I'm gonna be playing the fuck out of it. I promise you. I kid you not, man. So yeah, there's that. So the mix, that was a highlight. That was a really good time. Man, what else was going on at E3? I mean, obviously the conferences were great. You're breathtaking.
Yeah.
You know, that was an event. I mean,
now,
dude,
were you in the room for that one?
I was in the room, dude, and it's crazy because when at the end of the trailer, when you see Keanu like, you know, bend down, pull his glasses off, and say, you know, we got a city to burn.
Right.
The fucking crowd lost their shit, dude. Like, they blew the roof off of that place. Like, they were so loud that, like, it was just like, yo, this is insane. And then the door opens and the smoke comes out and the shadow is in the fucking, like, and it's like, no. And then Keanu walks out, and then what you think could not get louder got infinitely louder.
Which
and
they totally
like,
tuned out of the broadcast. Like, you don't you did not get a sense of that at all. Like, it was like, dude, why is no one losing their minds right now?
Bro, that's the point. That's what I was trying to get, because I had to rewatch it, because if you were in the building, you could not hear a word Keanu was saying.
What?
The entire time, the quietest it got, the absolute quietest it got, was when he said the sentence where it's like, it's absolutely breathtaking. And then, of course, the hero, the champion goes, you're breathtaking. And then, like, bro, when he said that, fucking, people lost their shit again. And then Keanu was like, you're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking. And
just, dude. Like, and it was over.
It was over, dude. Like, no, everything he said afterward, you just could not hear.
That's fucking funny.
I had to rewatch it just so I can, like, actually hear everything he said, dude, because it was that loud in there. It was that loud. And that, I mean, it's crazy because it's like, it was the Xbox conference. That was the highlight of the Xbox conference, man, if I'm being real with you. Like, even, like, Halo was kind of like a golf clap in comparison to how fucking nuts people went over the Cyberpunk. Like, it was insane.
That is absolutely insane to think about. Now, did CD Projekt actually have their own like showcase or conference, or they did?
They did. They had two different things. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's definitely the perfect transition onto the next amazing E3 story that I got. So CD Projekt Red had a booth on the show floor in the South Hall. South Hall was like the main hall with like all the badass guys. The West Hall was the West Hall I called the Nintendo Hall, because half of the West Hall was Nintendo. Everything else was like no one cared about. No one cared about.
Wow.
Like, it was just Nintendo. Like, you walk in, you go to the West Hall, you check on Nintendo, you get the fuck out. That's literally what people were doing.
God damn.
So, yeah, it was pretty brutal for all of those, every other company in the world. Because in hindsight, like, people were telling me, oh, did you check out such and such company, such and such booth? And I was like, no, where were they? Oh, they're in the West Hall. I was like, yeah, that's why. Yeah. Because it's just like, as soon as you walk in the West Hall, you're just greeted by this ginormous Nintendo booth, bro. It took up half of the hall.
Damn, dude,
yeah.
their marketing department really like fucking laid siege on that area.
Well, they jumped on it because Sony pulled out, so they had more space.
Oh, that's right.
So they're like, "Oh, Sony doesn't want to go? Here, give me that shit." Like,
oh man, so that was like a real table turner then. Sony saying, we're not going to be a part of that this year.
Yeah, big time. But I mean, in Sony's defense, they just didn't have content to put out, which kind of it was a
well. They announced all their biggest stuff before E3 actually went out. I mean,
so they had nothing new to announce.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what was the point?
Exactly.
Other than Final Fantasy and Square Enix had their own thing going on, so it was just like they literally didn't need to be there.
So Cyberpunk had 2 booths, a nice, well-constructed booth, and that's the thing. Like E3 is very. I like to refer to E3 as a big red tape trade show. There's a lot of closed doors. There's a lot of make a line so that you can get inside of here, so we can show you something. It's not as interactive as PAX is. And mind you, this is my 3rd show. Okay. My South was my 1st. East was my 2nd, and then E3 is my 3rd. So this is my 3rd show. So my frame of reference is small, but I mean, I can tell you that of the shows I've done so far, PAX East, without a doubt, my favorite show so far.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So that's just, to paint the overall picture of E3, because I'll eventually arrive at, my overall opinion of E3. But Cyberpunk, without a doubt, Cyberpunk and Borderlands painted the floor, painted the walls, dude. Like, they were like all over E3. I applaud the marketing team from CD Projekt Red and from Gearbox, man, because they plastered the walls with advertisements everywhere you looked. CD Projekt Red, Borderlands. CD Projekt Red, Borderlands.
Wow.
Cyberpunk 2077, Borderlands.
God damn, dude.
Everywhere you went. So, and the South Hall, they had their booth, and from what I know, I didn't know because I didn't check it out. It was a private screening to some gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Like you walk in, you sit down, you watch a developer play the game and talk about it, and then that's it. You get out, and then they probably give you like a little piece of merch or something like that. I think like a hat or something like that, or I don't know. It was cool. Like the booth looked great. It had a lot of awesome work. But it was just a wall. That was it. Like you just see this big cyberpunk wall, and then people going into this little like hut that they made, and you're seeing that everywhere.
Okay.
Now in the West Hall, in the meeting rooms, if you know people, you get a private screening to a more elaborate gameplay demo. I think it was like a 30-minute gameplay demo.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Man. That was cool as shit, because what I walked into was not at all what I was expecting. Now, if you actually go to Cyberpunk 2077's Twitter page, one of their recent posts is like a video. It's like a little like a shot cut of them showing off this really cool space. It looks like a bar. There's a guitar hanging off the wall. There's a lot of like neon lights and artwork and posters and shit. Yeah. That was the room that you are waiting in before you get into the screening. So it's like you're stepping into this space, and it's like you just teleport into literally the world of Cyberpunk 2077.
That's fucking cool, dude.
Holy shit. I had no idea what to expect. I was like, this is fucking insane. This is nuts. And then the people up front, they're handing out tickets, and the tickets are these really high quality, like they look like futuristic fucking tickets that you would use in the future. And it says Cyberpunk on one side, and on the other side, there's little check boxes that have shirt sizes. And so I'm thinking, dope. I'm gonna get a fucking shirt. So I hit medium, and then so it's like, all right, cool. So we go up to the dude. One of the guys that's sending up there is he's like the PR manager of Cyberpunk. They're like, hey, so what are we getting with these? They're like, oh, you're getting a jacket, and we're like,
oh, that's how you got those jackets?
We're like, wait a second, the jacket? Because mind you, prior to that meeting, Kevin and I we're seeing every so often like, oh shit, look at that jacket. That's a Cyberpunk 2077 jacket. Oh shit, look at that jacket. Yo, where the fuck do you get that jacket? You have to get into the meeting to get one of those jackets. And even then, it's a limited quantity, because I think the meetings seat like 40 people and they only give out like 30. So you got to be there first. Because at the very end of the screening, they go, okay, thank you so much, we appreciate it. If you have a ticket, please go to the left. If you don't have a ticket, please exit to the right. So I'm thinking, damn, not everyone in here got a fucking jacket. So I got lucky, but me and Kevin were like, that was the highlight. Like we planned everything around 1 p.m. because we're like at fucking 12:45, we're gonna be in line for that screening because like Kevin and I are super excited for Cyberpunk 2077. So I watched the gameplay demo. It's amazing. Like I can probably waste a whole nother podcast talking about how fucking awesome the game looks. Just to give you just to wet your fucking beak a little bit, bro. You can like make someone pull a gun on themselves, dude. Like you can like hack somebody to like fucking
what the fuck?
like pull a gun on themselves and like stab themselves, or you can like hack camera feeds and like you can hack into networks and you can obtain information from other dudes. Bro, I'm telling you, it's gonna be Skyrim and like with computers basically. Like
that's what I wanted to hear.
It's gonna be.
That's what I wanted to hear. Oh my god.
There's a dense skill tree that's like dense. You can be the stealthy hack everything assassin, or you can be like the motherfucker who has augmented brute arms that could rip doors open.
Just the straight brawler.
Yeah,
just
bro,
fucking,
like
that's fucking cool, dude.
You can either like hack a turret so that it goes against enemies, or you could just straight up walk up to the turret and rip that motherfucker off and like man.
As if the game wasn't already like generating enough hype. Like just the idea of that alone is just going to be I can't even form a thought because it opens the door to so many different like playable opportunities and like different play styles. It's just like
it's gonna be dense.
Yeah. Like we thought we could do a lot with Skyrim, going from like the stealthy archer to like the berserker type. It's like with this, now we're talking about hacking into computer systems and then hacking into other fucking people, dude.
Yeah,
Game
it's just
changer.
nuts. Like it's crazy because it's like a lot. For a good portion of the gameplay that you're watching, you're looking at like and it's all right. This is mildly stuff I've seen before, but then like there's a moment where the dude is running and like someone like slides out into the hallway and about to pull a gun on you, and you go beep boop boop, and you just see him go boom and just fucking cap himself. It's like what, like bro, like that kind of shit right there is like that's the kind of shit that I've always wanted in a video game, bro. Like
dude, like on the spot type of like just cut like last minute decision making and just wow.
Wow. When I saw that, I was like, I'm sold. Here's like, can I give you my money now? Like, can I like,
dude, for real?
Like,
what is gonna be able to run that game? Like, holy shit!
And that's another thing. They announced that it's going to be fully RTX supported. So if you have an RTX card, if you're taking advantage of the new 20 series video graphics cards, you're going to be able to fucking turn on all the amazing lighting features, all the amazing shadow features. And in a game like this where neon lights are fucking buzzing everywhere, that's going to look amazing, bro. So this game is going to be,
dude.
This is going to be the new benchmark for PC hardware without a doubt. Without a doubt, it's going to be like, yo, like how many frames per second like is your Cyberpunk on your PC? Like that's going to be the new dick measuring amongst PC enthusiasts. Like, yeah, but can it run Cyberpunk at like fucking 1440p at 144 hertz like maxed out? Like that's going to be like the new benchmark.
Crysis 2 has been dethroned.
Exactly, bro. I'm telling you, dude. It's gonna be that level of like it's gonna be a spectacle to see on PC, man. And mind you, I'm biased as fuck. Origin PC. I'm a big enthusiast for PC gaming. I will say a PC over a PlayStation or an Xbox any day of the week. I'll take the Pepsi challenge with that shit. So, I mean, but yeah, bro, like it's gonna be a spectacle of a game, not only in terms of visuals but gameplay mechanics. For guys like you and I that we're just not into the competitive shooter scene as much as our younger counterparts are.
Right.
It's a game like this that we're fucking getting our beaks wet for. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, yes.
It's like it really is like it, and I mean, and what's perfect is that Borderlands, the release date for Borderlands is perfect because Borderlands comes out with enough time for you to really enjoy Borderlands, beat Borderlands, maybe start another character of Borderlands,
Mm-hmm.
and have fun with that from September all the way to when was the release game for the April? Is it April? It's April, yeah. April 2020 is when Cyberpunk comes out. So it's like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so it's like you got plenty of time to enjoy Borderlands because I don't know about you, but Borderlands is going to be. Whoop. By the way, for the people that are in here, I'm not like I'm surprised we haven't jumped on this.
We
but,
haven't, yeah, totally fucked up on this one. Go ahead and tell them, yeah.
If you guys are watching, I have Borderlands handsome collection codes that I'm going to be giving Paul after the stream. So tomorrow, for those of you that take advantage and stick around, there it is. He linked it in chat. I mean, it could be the people that are watching right now. I mean, so it's like
Could be.
So I'm gonna give out those keys. If you don't have the Borderlands Handsome collection, I have keys that I'm gonna be giving out. Those are Steam keys, so you have to redeem it on PC.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I mean that's my thank you for for having me on the channel, and for those of you that join in and talk with us, man. That's my little trinket that I got from E3. I got so many of them. One of my partners at AMD, she was like, oh hey, do you want, like, she pulled out a stack of like codes, and I already gave everybody.
Holy fuck, dude.
And she was like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like fucking AMD is really making a heavy marketing push right now.
I am seeing a lot more of AMD being mentioned in like social media areas and articles and shit like that. And by the way, guys, if you want to enter actually here in the chat, just use the command !enter, and you use your pints, your points from the stream to get entered in the giveaway, and then we'll announce winners tomorrow. But moving on, AMD, yes, making a lot more waves recently, and I'm not disappointed by that, because the rig that I had picked out for myself was actually a Ryzen rig. But it's unexpected because for the longest time, Intel has been like the top dog, and AMD has always been like just their, lesser counterpart. And now we're really starting to see them make some moves. It's really interesting.
Yeah,
to see.
they're really making a splash with their price points and like
Yeah.
what they're offering in terms of hardware. I mean, and that's good. That's just good for the space, because that's just going to create a competitive environment, man. Intel, for the longest, because of what you just said, they've had a firm hold on pricing. It's just like, we're the best, and we're going to charge you fucking $1,200, $1,300 for a CPU. So,
Mhm.
and that's is so with AMD, getting in the game with this really crazy spec hardware at the price point that they're releasing it, man. Like nothing they announced broke $1,000. Like nothing they announced broke $800 for that matter. So it's
Wow.
I mean, they're doing great things for for PC hardware. And that's going to open the doors for a lot of other things. I mean, think about it this way. Like the person that wanted to get a Core i9 CPU for crazy streaming purposes, or like even more professional use, like machine learning and things like that.
Mhm.
They would have to drop a little more than $1,000. Now you have a fucking 8-core 16-thread processor at like entry level pricing. I don't remember all the pricing off the top of my head, but it's significantly less than what its Intel counterpart. Now, I mean, the money that you're saving, like you get yourself, you can get yourself that GPU that you always wanted. You get yourself a spicy fucking NVIDIA GPU. If you've been thinking about upgrading from like maybe a 9 series or 10 series card to a 20 series card. So it's definitely going to create a ripple effect in the industry. And we're all excited to see it. We're all excited to see what it does. Like we're excited to see Intel's answer to that. So.
Mhm. Yeah, that'll be interesting. The competitive area just got a little denser, and and they're not sacrificing performance, or they're not sacrificing technology for that lower price point either. Like you're still getting some substantial hardware for a significant lesser cost. And with their graphics card, with their Radeon line, they're still selling like crazy.
Yeah, they are. They definitely are. I mean, personally, I just have a bias for NVIDIA. I mean, that's just my thing. Yeah, but like, I mean, they're definitely making a splash in the GPU space as well. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see what NVIDIA does. and trust me, Nvidia will react. So that's good, man. It's just again, it's just good. Competition is always good for consumers.
Oh yes,
Bottom
absolutely, 100% all the time, all the time. That means we get to save money at some point. Exactly. When there's more guys that are pushing out a similar quality product for significantly less money, yeah, that's going to make some interesting conversations later on down the line for sure. And it even opens up the doors to developers to be able to cater to different types of technology now. They don't have to just worry about console and whatever, Intel can dish out at their highest price point. Now it's like, okay, well, can this Ryzen 7 rig run our game? Let's make sure that we can do that. Can this RX 580 run our specs? We got to make sure that benchmark passes. So yeah,
yep,
it affects everybody in the industry. Everybody.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. So yeah, man. So going back to the Cyberpunk story. So
yeah.
So the presentation finishes. We make our line, and they start handing out the bags. And I'm like, holy shit, I finally got a jacket, man. Sure shit. I crack that bitch open when I get home or to the hotel. It's a fucking amazing jacket. It's a black jacket. It's reversible. It's got a yellow interior, and if you flip it, it says on the back Cyberpunk 2077 with their classic yellow. Man, their whole aesthetic, dude, is so fucking amazing, bro. They're so aware of like style and fashion and just what's cool. And, like, it's their man. Like, just even down to like the little things. Like, bro, when this guy gave me his business card, it's not a fucking like it's not a little business card. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking credit card, my dude, and it's like it's like a quality fucking piece of like plastic, and it's got a really cool cut to make it seem like it's like a chip that you would fucking put
no fucking way,
bro. It's super fucking cool, man. And it's like, bro, like these guys really care about like what they've got. I mean, they've got money, obviously, but like just the little attention to detail. It's like, bro, like this game better fucking be amazing, and I'm sure it will be. But like, fuck, bro, like it's so awesome. So I'm never gonna arrive at my
That's okay though. That's okay.
So next day I'm obviously rocking the shit out of that.
Of course, bro. Everyone I'm sure that got one was.
Of course, and the cool thing is when you're walking around with that thing, people will shamelessly come up to you and be like, "Yo, where'd you get that?" You gotta get an appointment, dude. And they're like, "Oh, okay." And it's like you see pull out their phone like on that mission, like, let me get that fucking appointment.
Right.
And it's like, like people really want that shit. Hands down, the Cyberpunk 2077 jacket was the hottest item of E3. Hands down.
Oh, for sure, dude. Like the next day after like the presentation, all over Twitter. Like that was all I saw was shit about Cyberpunk and the goddamn jackets. Like that was literally like the talking point for like the next 2 or 3 days. It was nuts.
Yep. So I go to a party later on in the evening, right? And I meet up with one of our hardware partners, and just to be safe, I'm not going to mention which hardware partner it is.
That's fine.
It was a hardware partner.
Okay.
So all night he's sweating me. He's like, "Yo, man, that's a dope fucking jacket." And I'm like, "Thanks, man. Like, like I got lucky. I got a meeting. He's like, "No, man, you don't understand. That's a dope fucking jacket." I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I know. Like, people tell me all day. People come up to me like, it's the hot item right now." So all night, we're having a couple drinks, we're having a good time, we're all fucking around. We're, it's the end of the night. We're capping our night off.
Right.
So, he keeps on going, like, dude, like, that's a sick jacket. And I'm like, so I kind of start egging him on, like, "Yeah, bro, dope, bro. Like, feel the material." He's like, "Oh, nice." I'm like, "Yeah, bro, look at the logo. It's dope." And I'm like, I'm kind of feeding off of his envy, right?
Right.
So like it just got to the point where like he just wouldn't shut up. He just, "Oh, that jacket is so dope." And I don't think he knew that it was reversible.
Oh no.
So I'm like, "Here, man, hold this real quick." And I fucking take the jacket off and I flip it, I reverse it, and I turn around and I show him where it says Cyberpunk. And Bro, what the fuck, man? That's so cool. So like he is losing his shit, and he's like, bro, that's fucking insane. So then after that, he transitioned from that's a dope jacket to bro, let me get that jacket. And I'm just like, bro, fuck off.
Fuck
I'm
you,
not gonna
dude.
get this jacket, bro. This jacket's the shit, man. I love this fucking jacket. Bro, let me get that jacket. Nah, man. Let me get that jacket. No, man.
What's up, Whoop?
So he's like, bro, like, what would you take for that jacket? I'm like, fuck you. I'm not gonna sell this jacket. And he goes, I bet you'll trade a 2080 Ti for that jacket. And I'm like, yeah, I might. I might. Like, I mean, are you talking shit right now? He goes, nah, bro. Like, gee, shit. Like, I'll swap a 2080 Ti for that jacket.
Fuck that.
And
No
I'm
way.
like, I start emptying my pockets in the jacket. I'm like, will you shake on that? And he's like, yeah, I'll shake on that. I'm like, Kevin, pull out your phone right now. Kevin was already on it. Kevin was already fucking. Thing.
Oh, he's like recording the whole fucking like documenting
so I got my
the
jacket
experience.
in hand, and I'm like about to shake. I'm like, yo, so what is the exchange right now? This Cyberpunk jacket for a 2080 Ti. He goes, yeah, bro. We shook on it. I gave him the jacket, and then Kevin even like was like, yo, but where's the 2080 Ti? I'm like, you know what? That's a fair point. Damn, I might have just got completely fucked right now. And then his counterpart was like, no, you're gonna get the card. I'm like, all right, cool, fucking great. I just came up. Very next morning, I wake up to an email. Hey, Brian, hope you had a good night. It was nice seeing you last night. What's your address so we can send you the card?
No fucking shit.
And I'm just like, okay. So as I'm typing my address, his counterpart goes, no. We have a dinner appointment tonight. We're actually going to bring the card to you, and you're going to be able to take the card home.
What the fuck?
Moral of the story is the Cyberpunk 2077 jacket was so fucking hot that somebody traded me a $1,300 video card.
God damn it.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Do y'all understand what just happened?
Yeah.
Like, do you guys understand what happened in this story?
Like,
God damn, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking nuts. Like, I was just at the right place at the right time. And mind you,
you were in like all the right places at the right fucking time.
Dude, without a doubt. Like earlier this year, like I came up on a fucking 1080 Ti. Like earlier this year when I started this position.
That's right. Yeah, that was actually your first appearance on this show. Was telling that story.
Yep, and it was like, man, I was happy with that card, and I still am, bro. Like I'm like, it's a fucking amazing card. I'm thinking about selling it, but at the same time, I'm like, I kind of like having a backup 1080 Ti is like a fucking amazing backup. So
yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm conflicted as to whether or not what I'm gonna do with it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
Oh man, the fact that you have the option is alone just fucking crazy.
It's nuts, dude. Like, I'm truly blessed, bro. Like that was a really cool experience.
God damn it! I dare anyone else that was at E3 to top that story.
Yeah, bro.
Unless you actually got to like go into the back room with Keanu Reeves and give him a lap dance, you're not topping the story.
Yeah, no. What do you mean, bro? Like the only thing that would top that is Keanu Reeves giving you a lap dance.
Okay, you so right.
That would be breathtaking. Let me tell you.
That'd be breathtaking.
So yeah, man, that's my Cyberpunk story. So I mean, I thought about it long and hard. I'm like, this jacket is amazing, and I'm gonna feel really bad not having this jacket. But it was at the same time that I also learned that the jacket was going for sale.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, I might be able to buy it. I also learned that day that on release it was going to be RTX support, and I was like,
you're gonna have the 2080.
Like, I would need a 20 series card to take advantage of that to the fullest. I mean, you could still take advantage of, RTX features with 10 series cards, but it's just not going to be the same.
Right.
So when I connected all those dots, I was like, I gotta make this happen. Like, worst case scenario, this guy's fucking yanking my chain, and it is what it is, and like I got bamboozled, and like that's what happens when you're drinking, you fuck around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that kind of shit happens. Like I was prepared to take that hit,
Right.
But I jumped in with both feet, and I came out with a fucking RTX 2080 Ti.
That's fucking insane, dude. That is absolutely insane.
it was again, man. It was
What
that
do
was
we
probably that was the highlight of my beach trip for sure.
what do we talk about after that?
I'm glad you asked, man. On a personal level, the only other thing that really capped that was I got to
Mhm.
meet a lot of people from NetherRealm Studios.
Ooh, okay.
For those of you that don't know, NetherRealm Studios is the developer of Mortal Kombat, which is currently my favorite game and will forever be my favorite franchise, no matter what. Like I am actively playing Mortal Kombat. Like if you guys follow my stream, if you guys go on my channel, you see like my whole fucking feed is just me playing Mortal Kombat. I love that.
Yeah,
game.
he's been tearing up fucking Mortal Kombat lately, almost on a daily basis.
Yeah, man. If I'm not streaming it, I'm still playing it. So
Yeah.
it's like I have it on the Switch. I have it on PC. So it's like I love that game. Like I love that game a lot. Like so, yeah. I think the Mortal Kombat 11 is the best Mortal Kombat. Unpopular opinion.
Apparently. Which Phoenix,
But-
if you end up coming in here, buddy, I want you to touch on that a little bit.
I mean, people are going to say that the game is kind of busted because of it's a microtransaction heavy game,
Mm-hmm.
but that's false because like nothing about the mechanic is like it if
I
you're
think
impatient-
it's important to put the distinction though that we're not talking about loot boxes here.
Yeah,
We're just
exactly.
talking about microtransactions. Like the two
Yeah.
are not mutually exclusive.
Exactly. We're talking about cosmetics and
Right.
only cosmetics. And people complain that you have to play a lot and you have to grind to truly get like, the currency in game to purchase, the skins that you want. Now, here's where I think that's all fucking bullshit. The only way to get skins in the game is through the currency, and the only way to get the currency is to play the game.
Well, now
There's
I did
nothing
hear something about
it.
I did hear something about some characters are actually being locked behind a paywall.
Well, that's just DLC, man.
Ah,
Like-
okay. So
like,
that's not
there's-
like an in-game thing where you go and like spend an extra $35 and you can play as Raiden.
Yeah, no, that's been their business model since the very first reiteration of Mortal Kombat, Mortal
Mhm.
Kombat 2011, or as the community refers to it, Mortal Kombat 9.
Okay.
Like that's been their business model. They have a set amount of characters, and then you pay either per character or you pay a certain amount to have access to all characters after they're unlocked. That's just been, and that's the business model for damn nearly every fighting game that's out there. That's not an uncommon practice. The
Okay.
only game that has surpassed that and still utilizes the same business model is Super Smash Bros. Because of their abnormally large roster.
Ah, okay.
But even then, they still have characters that they're releasing that aren't in the base game that you have to purchase. And you have to, as a consumer, make a choice. Do I want to pay a sum for all of them so I can get basically one of them for free, because that's basically how the math works? Or do I just want to, maybe pay for this character or this character as they're released? I get it. These developers, they got to make their money. They got to make a return somehow, and that's definitely a good way to capitalize. Now, people are going to argue, oh, but it's already on the disc. If man, like, no one's putting a gun to your head and telling you to play the game.
Yeah.
Like it's like the true fans are going to acknowledge and take and appreciate that. I'm going to fucking spend every dime I can to like get my hands. I already bought the combat pack. I already know, like, I'm gonna want every single fucking character that comes out in that game.
Right.
Spawn, what?
Bro.
Spawn?
Get
Like-
over it. Like that's that's
Like-
done.
Like, come on, man. Like, anyone who played Soul Calibur 2 was like fucking foaming at the mouth to have Spawn in a fighting game, let alone
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, dude. Like,
To have him in his true gory self. Yeah, dude, absolutely.
yeah, I really hope they integrate his chains in a meaningful way.
That would be fucking badass.
Because I don't know if you remember in Soul Calibur 2, he was Spawn and he was cool as shit, but he just wielded an axe.
Right.
It was a little out of character. It was like, okay, that's cool, that's Spawn, but like, where's his cape? Where's his chains?
The cape, yes, that was a big one for me too. Like the chains I probably could have forgiven had the cape been a utilizable tool, But it was, yeah, it was just like you said, it was completely out of character for what that character had been built upon, and he used every part of that suit to fight and to do all kinds of shit. So yeah, to lock out some of that was really disappointing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, at the time, I can only imagine how much of a nightmare that would be to have to program a cape that like not only moves
Yeah.
in real time and with physics, but also integrate it in a meaningful way where it's like, because you already know Spawn uses cape to like manifest weapons and shit like that. So
Mm-hmm.
like, to program that in a game at the time that the game came out would have been, damn nearly impossible. Now
Yeah.
we're in a time where it's like that shit is feasible as fuck.
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
and for those of you who haven't played Mortal Kombat, like the graphical overhaul that they went from MKX to MK11 is, man, night and day. Like just the tassels that like hang on, like the attention to detail is amazing. They have come so far in their like it looks fucking photorealistic sometimes when you're looking at that
Damn.
game, dude. Like it's really really like good. And mind you, like I might be a little biased because I'm running it on PC, so I mean I have like there's a feature where you can run the entire game at 60 frames per second. So even the cutscenes, like when you're going in and out, like the introductions, the fatalities, the crushing blows, all of that is running at 60 frames per second, and that shit looks amazing, dude. Like that
What
is
the
like it
fuck?
looks so buttery smooth. So yeah, like the graphics are amazing. So going back onto what we were talking, Spawn, like I'm pretty sure they're gonna do one of two things. They're gonna implement his chains in a meaningful way, or his cape. I hope they do both. And
That would be cool. That may be pushing the boundaries just a little bit in terms of like what current systems may be able to handle, or even what they're able to do as far as like development technology, because that's a lot. That would be a lot to try and animate. That would be a lot to try and program into different like button combinations. I mean, there's a lot to think about just trying to implement those two features alone. Now, if they're able to do it, and they're able to do it in a very, like you said, meaningful way and in a very seamless way, then that is going to, I mean, shit, just the release of that character alone may carry that game for years.
well, that's just it. I mean, if you look at other characters in the game, look at a character like Noob Saibot, which was a very awesome fan favorite of a return. Like he was in Mortal Kombat 9, and his absence in MKX was like fucking hated on by the community. Like people were like, "Yo, where's Noob?" Like, so Noob coming back, his character design is fucking immaculate, and like Noob is a character that utilizes a shadow version of. So his combos are super fucking cool because he'll punch you, and then a clone of himself will come out and kick you, and it's like it's so seamless. And the animation, I'm telling you, is just really good shit. I'm actually gonna try to main Noob. I'm a Jade main right now.
Yeah, I've seen you.
But,
you're nasty with Jade.
I love her,
I'll
man.
say
She's
that.
great. It's a little disappointing. It's funny how I landed on Jade because Devora was announced as a returning character, and Devora is my main in MKX. I fucking love Devora in MKX. She's a lot of fun to use. She's really cool. She's very combo heavy. And in MKX, I'm sad to say that I don't like the way they made her now. I'm sorry, MK11. I don't like the way they made her in MK11. But to pull back, MK11 is a very grounded game. MKX was very fast, was very combo heavy, bouncing neutral jumps and shit like that. Like,
okay.
Like it encouraged that like flashy gameplay. MK11
a lot of the juggling type mechanics and stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt. MK11 is very much a grounded game. For example, they eliminated the neutral bounce, which in MK9 and MK11, I'm sorry, MK9 and MK10, there's a mechanic where if you jump straight up, that's referred to as a neutral jump.
Mm-hmm.
And on your way down, if you attack your opponent on an overhead, they bounce off of the floor, opening them up for a combo. That was a mechanic that was in both MK and MKX. They eliminated that in MK11. That is no longer a mechanic. So yeah, so they really grounded the game. It's more about like drawing out an attack on your opponent, and it's all about whiff and punish. It's a much slower game. It's a much more methodical game. It's not like, mind you, there are still characters in the game that can fucking hit you with some banging flashy combos, but it's always the result of it's always a consequence. It's never like
Oh, okay.
combo after combo after combo.
So it's never an intent.
Yeah, well, it's an intent, but it's an intent as a result of your opponent messing up.
Okay.
So like it's not like just like I do a combo and then now you do a combo. It's like, it's a lot of like footsie going back and forth. Like what are you gonna do? Are you gonna block or are you gonna attack? Okay, you're gonna block, I'm gonna grab you. Oh, you're gonna attack, I'm gonna take a step back and I'm gonna hit you with my move that has a lot more range than yours, and you have to respect that. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna teleport? Are you gonna advance? Like, it's really cool. It's a much more methodical and slower game, and I like it for that reason, because it's definitely gonna reward skillful play as opposed to mindless, combo play, which was what Mortal Kombat X was to some extent. And another thing that they removed was the running mechanic. They brought it back because in Mortal Kombat 3 there was a run mechanic, and it became a thing where it kind of opened up combos that you just couldn't do normally. So it's like you would like launch somebody in the air and like run into it to continue the string. It was cool. It was its own meta, but it's no longer that. It's a much slower game, and I think as far as like spectating the game goes, I think it's a much more enjoyable game to watch. Another mechanic that's in the game which is why I personally feel it's the best Mortal Kombat to date, is there is a new mechanic that is referred to as the crushing blow. So what they did was in Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 9, you had what was called the X-ray, where it's like when you fill up your meter, you hit both your triggers, and if you land the attack, it's the sequence of brutal attacks where like you would see like an X-ray, and you would see like the bones crushing and shit like that.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did see some clips of that.
Yeah, so what, like, that was cool.
Uh-oh. Oh, man, I think it froze on us. No, that's not cool. Hold on. Let's see if you come back. I don't know if you can hear me. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. While we try and get Beezus back, though, if you are leaving and coming back, okay, thanks, man. Yeah, no kidding, dude. But if you are in the chat right now, and if you saw the little command that I used there, !handsome, that is a link to the giveaway that we're running for tonight's stream. Beezus has been gracious enough to give us some keys for Borderlands, the Handsome Collection. It's a bundle of Borderlands 2, the pre-sequel, and a shit ton of DLCs. You can use the command !enter to enter into the giveaway, and the winner will be announced on my Twitter page tomorrow afternoon. So get those entries in. Okay. Seems like we are still having some difficulties here. Give me a second. And there's we're back.
And we're back.
All right, sorry about that, guys. And yeah, there you go, man. All right, we got an entry. Woo!
Nice.
Okay, so yes, the
entry, awesome.
Hell yeah, man. Okay, so we were talking about the crushing blow mechanic.
Yeah, so the crushing blow mechanic. So like the X-ray was cool and all, but what they did was they fine-tuned it. They removed the X-ray and they replaced the X-ray with a mechanic, with two mechanics actually. Because the thing about the X-ray mechanic, like basically it's like your super move. Because in Mortal Kombat, in the previous Mortal Kombat games, you have a meter, and the meter has 3 tiers. So you have 1 section of meter, 2 section of meter, 3 section of meter, and you could use a section of the meter to like enhance a special move. So, and like for example, like instead of a fireball, you can enhance it and get 2 fireballs or something along those lines.
Okay.
And that costs 1 meter. For 2 meters, you could do what is called a combo breaker. So let's say like somebody initiates a combo on me, and what would be a 4-hit combo, if I can spend 2 of my meter to stop it, and maybe stop it at 1 or 2 hits. Basically, once 1 hit initiates, then you can stop it by initiating a combo breaker, and it'll basically interrupt their combo and then space them away. That was 2
That's
meters.
fucking rad.
Yeah, And then for 3 meter, your whole bar, if you spend that, it would initiate this super move, this very extravagant X-ray move, and it's
Right.
like an animation, and it does, it does a moderate amount of damage. So that that was the tiers. So what they did was they completely revamped their meter system, and I really love how that works because in the previous games you either have to take damage or deal damage to build your meter. Now the meter builds over time. So like you
Oh.
have two sets of meter. You have your offensive meter and you have your defensive meter. Offensive meter does things like exactly what I was saying, amplify moves. So turning one fireball into two fireballs or adding a hit to like a certain special move that you have. Defensive meter does things like rollaways. So it's kind of like a combo breaker, but not necessarily. Where so it's like let's say you have somebody that's pops you up in the air, you can roll, and what it does, it gives you armor so that you can't get juggled. You still fall to the floor. You'll take a little bit of damage, but you fall to the floor because you're spending your defensive meter. So there's cool
No
resources.
shit.
They really revamped it, and I think it feels a lot better. Now going to the crushing blow mechanic, this is the coolest thing about it because the thing about meters is that you can see the meter.
Mhm.
I can tell when my opponent has an offensive meter, so I can anticipate. All right, he's got like for example Scorpion. If Scorpion teleports, that's fine. But if Scorpion meter burns a teleport, he'll sneak in an extra hit where he pops you up in the air. So if I'm fighting an opponent Scorpion and he's got a full meter, I can see that on his side of the screen. And if he teleports, I have to anticipate shit like this guy might meter burn it, so I might have to hold my block a little longer.
Ah, okay. So it kind of changes the way you approach certain situations.
Exactly. And it's like, man, that's just one layer of the Mortal Kombat meta. Now, the crushing blow mechanic is super cool because the crushing blow mechanic is a resource that is not on the screen. That is a resource that you have to learn from every single character that you fight. So,
wow.
What it does is the crushing blow mechanic is a mechanic where, under certain conditions, a blow that you land will deal an exuberant amount of damage, and it'll pause the game real quick and it'll do a really cool animation very similar to the X-ray mechanic. So like let's say you get punched in the face, if the crushing blow initiates, it'll go boom and it'll slow-mo and you'll see like fucking and then the fight will continue. It's super fucking cool, man. It's the coolest fucking thing. Like you've seen it before, but seeing it like happen in the middle of a fucking fight is really rewarding. And like you have to meet the conditions to get it. So for example, I'm a Jade main. Mm-hmm. Jade has a cool combo where she punches, she puts the staff on the floor, she hits you on the foot, and then once she hits you on the foot with the staff, she comes and she hits you with the knee. Now, she has a crushing blow where if the punch does not land and the staff is the first hit to land, the knee will be a crushing blow. And the knee, like it'll and then it'll pop you up into the air, like it'll slow motion. You'll see the fucking ribs get crushed.
I fucking love it.
Like that only happens when the first hit does not land. If I hit you with the punch and then the staff, I cannot crushing blow you with the knee.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that is something that as my opponent.
Holy shit, we got a raid going on. Spenzo Smith, 23 is raiding with a party of 4. Thank you very much, Spenzo Smith. Spenzo. That means so much to me, man. Thank you so much, and thank you to everybody that's coming in.
Welcome everybody. We're talking Mortal Kombat.
We're talking a lot of Mortal Kombat.
We're talking video games. Yeah,
balls deep.
You're getting into the nitty gritty because you're quite So that's what I really like about the crushing blow mechanic, because it's a resource. And on high levels of play, because so there's another thing called release check that you have to activate, because let's say as an entry level Jade player, I do that string and I miss the first blow. Without release check, if I complete the pole hit and then I hit you with the knee, that is automatically going to be a crushing blow. But the crushing blow, here's the thing, it's a resource, because once you've done the crushing blow, you cannot do it for the duration of the match. And that can make or break your match, because if you want, you can hold on to that crushing blow for another critical point in the fight where that can be the you winning or losing a fight.
Yeah.
So like release check makes it so that you have to hold the button in order to initiate the crushing blow. So for that string, let's see, how does it go? It's triangle, square, circle to do that string.
Mm-hmm.
Now, triangle has to miss, square has to be the first thing to land, then circle has to hit. And if circle hits and it meets the condition where triangle misses, then it's a crushing blow. And without release check, if it lands, then it'll automatically but with release check, I have to hold circle in order for the crushing blow to land. So it's a really cool thing because it creates this mind game where if my opponent knows that crushing blow condition, then they're going to be like, shit, is he going to use it now or is he going to use it later? And they have to respect that. They have to like understand that, fuck, at any given moment, this guy can hit me with that crushing blow.
Well, what's cool about that too is that it almost throws a kink into the learning curve for the game.
Absolutely.
Like when you're getting used to a certain character moveset. Oh, hold on, let me address chat real quick. I've seen you on Twitter, but never came in here yet, so I decided to raid your bro, and I could not be more appreciative of it, man.
Yeah,
Thank
dude,
you
that's
so
awesome.
much. I know you and actually this is a friend of Brad's. We're all mutual friends of Brad's apparently.
That's crazy. Small world. Man.
Spenzo and Brad were actually part of a raid esports together, I believe. And so thank you for coming in, man. I really appreciate you bringing all the cool people in with you. If this is your first time here, this is a podcast channel. Typically we do some games every once in a while, but
he said doo-doo.
And we're kind of juvenile about it apparently, but no, I talk to other creators, I talk to other streamers about their careers, their projects, what they got going on, and Beezus comes on every once in a while to regale us with tales of his journeys out to these conventions. And he's also a streamer, twitch.tv, Beezus FM right there in the chat. And one of my very dear friends, so I love having him on the show. He's the partnership and events coordinator for Origin PC. If you're not familiar with Origin PC, they're probably one of the best custom PC manufacturers on the market right now. And the best, excuse me, I misspoke. And as such, Beezus gets to go to a lot of these big conventions, and he gets to call it work for some reason.
yeah, it's a lot of hard work, man. Trust me.
But we all love games, and we all love getting together here and talking about games and all the crazy shit that's coming out and going on in the gaming industry, and that's what we're doing here tonight. Beezus was actually able to be on site for thank you for your follow, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate that follow, Spenzo.
Hell yeah, dude. And he got to be on site for E3, so we're just kind of going through a lot of the stuff that he got to see with his own two eyes, and we ended up getting into a conversation about Mortal Kombat. But what I love about that conversation is that it really brings to light the current state of games like this, that they're having to really think outside the box and implement these new mechanics to make the game not necessarily more interesting, but to keep it fresh in the eyes of players. Because you can release Street Fighter, you can release Mortal Kombat with different iterations, with different characters and different movesets and stuff. But if you don't add those little things like the crushing blows where you actually have to fuck up a combo in order for it to actually take hold and hold certain things down a certain way, yeah, and you're throwing kinks in the learning curve and like really separating people who are going to pay attention and practice and try and get good, and other people that just kind of want to play and fuck around.
Yeah, exactly. And that man, NetherRealm Studios, they're always pushing that boundary. They're always like, you know, they're always introducing something new with every iteration of their game, Mortal Kombat, and it's very impressive to see it, man. Like it's always rewarding to see. On that note, I actually met some people from NetherRealm Studios, and here is my little trinket.
Yo, that looks fucking dope.
Yep, and here's the other side. It's a coin.
Custom. Says E3 2019.
That is an actual coin.
That is an actual metal coin. And Shang Tsung, holy shit, your soul is mine.
Yeah. Yep. So, and yeah, man, that's look, I'm gonna flip the. So that's an actual coin that I got there,
cool,
man. Like
man.
So that's my little trinket that I got, and I actually got this from a developer of Mortal Kombat himself. Like, so that was really great.
That is fucking awesome. Good stuff, man. I gotta head out, so hope you have a great stream and great night. Catch you another time. Spenzo Smith 23, I appreciate you, dude. You're welcome here anytime, sir. Thanks for dropping by, indeed. So, dude.
So I went to this. It was a party at the Wedbush, which is apparently it's a really prestigious hotel, and apparently it's like one of the most sought after networking events at E3. And this was made apparent by Kevin. He's like, whatever you do, you got to get us into the Wedbush. So, I did my homework. I found the contact. I got us into the Wedbush. And I felt a little out of place, man. It was a lot of people in fucking suits and shit. And I'm just like, dude, like, wow, I'm like out of my element, dude. Like,
at a gaming convention?
Nuts. Yeah, bro. There's a whole. Well, the thing is, E3 is primarily a business to business convention.
Well, okay, yeah, I can see that.
Like, it's very much like a, hey, investors, buy stocks. That's what it really is. And on the underlying surface, which will I'll arrive to my overall thoughts, my own personal thoughts on E3. When we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that it's business to business makes it that like it's a whole lot of handshakes going on in the background, if you will.
For sure.
So okay. I'm at this Wedbush event. And I don't know who the fuck to talk to, bro. It's on a floor. It's a nice, it's a nice building, and it's asses, elbows, dude. I'm talking like you just cannot move.
That many people.
It's just so many people, and it's just like me personally. I hate being in those environments, man. I don't like being in crowded environments. So, I'm doing my due diligence. Kevin's introducing me to a bunch of people. And I'm trying my very hardest. Like, yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, and. I thought like it was going to be a speakeasy, it's just like there's so many people that everyone's talking that it's like you have to yell just to hear, like, and it's just like, God damn. So I'm thinking, like this is cool and all, but I got to find somewhere where I can breathe and I can take a seat. Cause like this is intense. So I do so. I find a spot, and I meet this gentleman. I forgot his name, but there's this cool dude who was just chilling there, and he was really nice. Like I sat down, and he just, hey, how's it going? My name is such and such. I'm like, damn, like that's cool. I really was just trying to break away real quick and just like get a breather. So like, I'm entertaining this fellow, and like we're talking, and like I was very transparent with the dude. I was like, man, like this is crazy. Like I'm out of my element right now. This is completely different than what I'm used to. And he's like, bro, like I was there. It turns out the guy was from Florida, and we instantly clicked. He goes, oh, we're Florida boys. So he was super cool, and at the very end, he gave me like a nice little pep talk. He goes, man, kid, like I've been where you're at, bro. Just go up to anybody. Just go up to anybody and just have a conversation with them. You never know. You never know who you meet. You never know what'll happen. You never know the contacts you make. And I'm like, you know what, bro? That's exactly what I needed to hear. I pound my drink down. I'm like, it was a pleasure to meet you. I get up. I start walking around, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do what this guy said. I'm gonna just talk to somebody. Fuck it. What's the worst that'll happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you. You move on to the next one of the next fucking 400 people that are in this
right. Take your pick.
So I'm walking, and as I'm walking in my peripherals, I see a gentleman sitting down. He's got a black shirt, and on the back of his shirt, it's got this fucking awesome MK logo.
Right.
Oh shit! All right, that's cool. I'm sorry. I'm walking in front of him, and he's got the actual dragon logo on his shirt. I'm thinking, all right, dope.
Oh, okay.
That's a cool shirt, That's cool. Like, he's got a Mortal Kombat shirt.
Yeah.
So then I turn around, and then I see that logo, and I turn around again because it fucking said developer on it. I was like, oh shit!
What the shit?
So I U-turned the fuck around, and I sat right down next to him, and I was like, sir, I don't know you, you don't know me, but I'm a big fucking fan of your game, man. Like, and I'm just like, let me tell you how much I love Mortal Kombat. And I caught him off guard. Like he was sitting by himself. He wasn't talking to nobody. He was just doing his shit, just drinking his drink. And like, I felt a little like, maybe I was a little aggressive, but like he was like, oh, like yeah, that's cool, like that's great. And I'm like, you know what, man? Like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just come at you, dog. I just like honestly, I'm a huge fan of your game. Like it means a lot to me that you're like that. What you do, like. Your company is amazing. And then we actually he kind of let his guard down a little bit, and we started to talk a little bit. His name is Andrew Stein. He's one of the developers at Mortal Kombat, and at NetherRealm Studios.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, like we got into it, bro. Like I started telling him about like how I felt about the game. He started telling me about like their philosophy. He was telling me what an amazing place it is to work at NetherRealm Studios.
Really?
how like you never. He's like, man, when's the last time you heard a story about like NetherRealm like laying people off and shit like that? You don't. He's like,
That's a good point.
He goes, and some of the people that have been working there for like 10 plus years, and there's a lot of people in the company that have been there for longer than 10 years. I'm like, damn, bro, that's fucking amazing, dude. Like that's that right there is like that's the kind of shit that you want to hear, bro. It's because it's always tragedy to hear about these game companies that just go under, or game companies that lay off a bunch of people. Look at Blizzard. Blizzard just recently fucking laid off a bunch of people. And that's a company that I look up to.
Look what happened to Telltale.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it happens, and it's always a sad story to hear. And like he was very proud to say, like, yeah, bro, like we take care of our guys, we got a great working environment, morale is great, like, I'm just like, man, that's cool shit to hear. And then, obviously we kept on bouncing back and forth. I told him the same thing I told you about like how I was like, bro, like what the fuck did you do to my girl Devora, bro? Like he goes, yeah, like, but like, so I told him I'm a big Jade fan, and we got into it, man. And like like he told me like, yeah, Tyler, like the community leaders, they're here, and like these are the guys that I watch on the Combat Cast. Like I'm like, oh shit, they're here too. So I bumped into Tyler. He's like the community leader for NetherRealm. I bumped into Stephanie, another big community leader. They're always on the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is the best part, but also the worst part of the story.
Okay.
As I'm talking to him, like I'm like, yo, so I'm like, who else is here? He goes, oh yeah, Ed Boon is here too. And I'm like,
what?
Ed Boon? Daddy Ed Boon? The Ed Boon? Like noob Ed? Like Ed Boon? He goes, yeah, he's right over there. And I fucking look up, and sure as shit, Ed Boon is just chilling there, bro, talking to like a group of 5 people. And I almost like legit shrieked like a little girl. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me, dude. Like, Ed Boon in the flesh. Ed Boon's just chilling there, bro. What the fuck? And he's like, yeah, man, if you want, man, maybe I can try to get you a conversation. I'm like, dude, honestly, like, I don't want to impose, but hell yeah, if I can get that. He goes, yeah, I mean, he goes, he's talking to people, so like, I'm like, no, bro, you don't even have to, I know, trust me. I'm not going to be that guy that goes up to Ed Boon and interrupts his conversation.
Oh, for sure.
Not going to do it. So me and Stein continue our conversation. That he refers to himself as Stein. His name is Andrew Stein, but he's like, people call me Stein. So I'm like, bro, I'm gonna call you Stein, bro. Like,
okay.
So like we're talking, and then I look, Ed Boon's gone. So I was like, I missed my chance. No big deal. So as we're wrapping up, Kevin made his rounds. I made my rounds. I exchanged information with him. He was super cool. Stein was a cool ass dude. He gave me his email, gave me his Twitter. He was like, hey, if you ever want to reach out to me, man, like, let me know, like, like, just reach out to me. Like, he made himself available, which was super fucking cool, man.
That
is
awesome.
He didn't have to do that. Like, I didn't reach out. I gave him my card. I was like, you do with that what you want. You know what I'm saying? If you guys ever need PCs in NetherRealm Studios, you fucking let me know.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That shit happen. So like, like I did my job. I did my part. I gave him the spiel. I was like, this is what I do. This is who we work for. I didn't expect it to be reciprocated, because a lot of the people that you meet, like in these things, a lot of the more like higher influencer, like they're used to that. They fucking walk home with like stacks of business cards, and whether or not they even keep them, they probably like they look at it and they probably throw it away, man. That's just the nature of it. Right. So I never, I keep my expectations super low when I talk to these people, and like he was really cool. He exchanged his information with me, and he kept touch with me, which is awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, for sure.
So we leave, and on the way, like I'm telling, like Kevin can see that I'm clearly fucking starstruck. Like he's like, what happened? I'm like, bro, like I just met some of the I just met a fucking Mortal Kombat developer. I saw Ed Boon, and he goes, oh, that's cool, yeah, that's great. And he goes, you want to make another round, see if we can meet him? I'm like, yes, let's do it. So we make another round in that crowded ass fucking building. And like I couldn't see him. I'm like, you know what? It's fine. We gotta go. We got a schedule to keep to. It's fine. I missed my chance to meet Ed Boon. And then in the elevator, Kevin pulls out his phone, and he fucking took a picture with Ed Boon.
Are you fucking serious right now?
Yeah. And I was like, you son of a bitch. He goes, yeah. I didn't want to tell that to you.
Oh, dude, it's
I wanted to
the wound and shit.
I wanted to give you the opportunity to look out, look out for him, and I appreciate that he did that. But that son of a bitch.
That is a pretty cool.
He goes, yeah, bro. I saw him, and I'm like, yeah. So, but yeah, man. I met a lot of cool people that like I look up to in the video game industry.
Yeah, man.
You know, and that was a surreal experience, man. So now I know like that Wedbush, that's a fucking killer event to go to, man.
Yeah, just
yeah.
next time pack a suit.
Yeah, exactly. Next time I gotta make a trip back, and I gotta go, you know, looking legit. Mind you, there's a lot of gamers there too, but like it was just a lot.
Well, I mean, yeah, you got the guy walking around with a T-shirt that says developer across the back with, you know, I mean, yeah, you're gonna find the few outliers, I guess, every once in a while.
So yeah, so at the end of the conversation, like this guy Stein, he pulls out this coin out of his pocket. And he goes, you know, we give these out like in line in the booth. You have to complete the booth, but you know, you're a cool kid. Here, bro. And I'm like, damn, dude, like that's awesome. That's really fucking cool that he gave me one.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So this is my little memory, bro. Like I met people from my fucking favorite video game of all time.
Yeah, and now you got a combat
one
coin.
of the people that made it. You know, so it's like that was aside from the Cyberpunk jacket story, that was my highlight. That was super fucking cool.
Yeah, dude. And if you missed that story, you're gonna have to go back and check the VOD because that was earlier in the broadcast. But that's such a fucking awesome story. You got to go back and hear it. We'll clip that for the highlight reel later. But the scope of what something like E3 is when you're able to have those types of moments that are like real intimate like that with people that you look up to, that you potentially follow like every day on social media, or you've been playing their games for years and years and years. The fact that there's these events that actually offer you the opportunity to meet these people face to face, to shake their hands, to make, if you're on the business side of things, to make these business interactions is really kind of crazy. It's really kind of crazy because we're so used to seeing these people basically from the retail shelf, you know, like we don't come from an age where we're able to have this instantaneous access or this instantaneous way of communicating with these people. So I think those one-on-one interactions really need are very much cherished in that sense, because you get to have that, you know, I didn't talk to you just through a screen. I got to fucking shake your hand.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was awesome, man. And it was at that moment that I realized, I was like, yeah, I'm so lucky and I'm so fortunate to be in the position that I'm in, and I just want to continue to make the best of it and to take advantage of it, man. And I mean, like there was a gentleman that was working in our position beforehand, and I know I've told you this before, but it's just an example of how these things can come into fruition. And I love Origin PC, so by no means am I implying that I want to leave the company,
right?
But like, I mean, who knows, man? Maybe that's a door that I fucking open. You know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe some door down the line, I can continue that relationship. And, you know, one day NetherRealm's like, you know, they open a position. They say, yo, we need an events guy for NetherRealm. We need somebody to coordinate our trade show presence. Boom, right there. Like, you know, that's a window, you know?
When we find that dream job, so to speak, it's really hard to imagine, you know, being anywhere else other than where you landed that dream job. But this is a ever expanding industry. Like, we're seeing growth from the gaming industry unlike we've seen in the past 10 years. And if that growth is going to continue in this forward type of direction, for sure, other opportunities down the line are eventually going to come across, be that for you, be that for anyone else in a similar position with a different company, be that wherever. Now we can include influencers and streamers and content creators within that space too. Like, something may open up down the line where, you know, I potentially get to talk to people like maybe fucking, I don't know, Hugo Martin on the podcast one day. Like, who knows where the doors end up leading. But I couldn't be happier for you, dude. You're getting to do a lot of like really cool shit. I can tell that you're having the time of your life, and I can tell that you're just enjoying every second of it. So by all means, fucking enjoy the ride.
Nah, man, it's truly a blessing, man. But to wrap it all up, I mean, I just on the closing note, I hate to cut you short, man. It's just I'm starting to get really hungry, and
oh, for sure.
I gotta go nourish the body. But
can I trouble you for one more topic?
Of course.
It's a mutual love of ours. We've already kind of talked about it off stream a few times. I just wanted to touch on it just a little bit. Doom Eternal. For one, okay, the first age when the shadows first lengthen.
The shadows first lengthened.
I went out of my way. Like, I only tuned in for one conference, and it was Bethesda. And I only tuned in for Bethesda because I knew we weren't getting Elder Scrolls, so I let go of that expectation. But I wanted Doom, and we got, I think, a
whole lot of Doom.
Whole lot of Doom, and we got to look at some groundbreaking, some potentially game-changing shit. And I just want, we won't get too deep into it because I know you want to get out of here and you're feeling the pains. I just want to get I want to get your perspective on where Doom Eternal is at its current state. Do you think it needs to go any further with development, or is it perfect as it is?
It's done. It's already done. It's definitely done. They're just, they're trying to hype up as much as they can to to push sales, and it's an amazing game, dude. It's the thing is, it's like, how do you improve on a game that's damn near perfect?
Yeah.
You don't. You just add a couple things and it just makes it that much better, dude. The sprinting, there's a new dash mechanic, and like, it's on a cooldown, so you can't spam it, so you have to time it correctly. There's a new mechanic where you can like mount surfaces,
the monkey bar shit. Yes, dude, that is amazing.
Like, there's a lot of verticality involved with the game, which, there was some extent in Doom, but like, now they're taking it to a whole fucking other level, pun intended. So like, they really are, like, they're really stepping it up. Like now with the shotgun, with the chain, like, you can like fucking launch yourself across using an enemy and like get from one place to another. And let me tell you, it's hard as fuck. It's a challenging game. Like,
but that's the legacy of Doom, though. It's like, it's simple to play, but it's hard to beat.
Yeah.
And that's the legacy of that game, and that's what I think why there's still such a core following for that franchise, and the modding community is fucking extensive, and for good reason, because like we were just talking about, it's the game that's it's the easiest game to get the hang of mechanically, but it's the most difficult to actually play through because they just throw everything at you.
Everything. The enemy types are insane. The enemy types are fucking bonkers, dude. Like, personally, let me tell you, it's gonna be fucking nuts. Like, and that's another thing. Like, I forget about Doom because it's like my excitement for Borderlands and Cyberpunk is like through the roof. But what I like about Doom is that I feel like Doom is a great game that you can just kind of play in spurts. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, you're like, it's okay to like pick it up, play it for 20 minutes, and like get off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's also a game that very much has the potential, like, yo, I'm gonna play this shit for 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's where Borderlands to me is like, Borderlands, if you're picking up Borderlands, it's because you're about to go into at a minimum of a 2-hour session. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that
goes without saying. Like, where like you can pick up Doom and be like, you know what, let me clear this mob. All right, I'm done.
Yeah. You get through that one part that's been troubling you for about a week, and then you can kind of taper off for a bit, or you can just go hell on wheels and go in for like the max difficulty for the most amount of demons that you can get into any kind of open area, and just go on a downright splatterfest. It's just one of those things that keeps people coming back to games like Doom. It's like you said, it's a perfect game. You just got to add a few things to keep people interested and to bring in a new crowd. And I think this game is going to draw in a massive new crowd. The new multiplayer battle mode thing looks amazing. People getting to play as demons, teaming up against one Slayer is an amazing idea.
I'm excited for that.
I'm really excited for that. It's going to be a game changer as far as multiplayer goes. I don't see it really being a big esports grab, but it's definitely going to open the field for content creation. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. Content creation for sure. And that's a smart move for them.
Yeah.
That's a really smart move for
them.
They're
not an esport. They're not an esport company. That's not their jam.
No, that's not. So it's a smart move for them to think, what can we do that's going to be engaging for the viewers? And that's definitely a good way.
That's definitely a good way to do it.
That's a great way. Like let's say like you're a top tier influencer and you're actually pretty good at shooters. You can position it like, well, yeah, like my two random viewers are get to go against me and try to take me on.
Fuck yeah,
It's
dude.
it's gonna open those kinds of engagements with influencers in their community.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. You're
I'm
absolutely
hyped for it. I'm so hyped for it. And I'm opening the door now. Anyone that wants to get in on some battle mode, the Sick Boy Lounge is going to be ripe with some Doom when that shit launches. I'm telling y'all now. Telling y'all now.
Yeah,
That's the way
and
it's going to go.
I'll definitely keep my ear to the ground. Like if I get codes, man, you already know I'm gonna try to look out for you, bro. I always do.
Oh, I love this guy. Fucking love this guy.
Yeah, man. Anytime they're up for grabs, I always try to see if I can get an extra one. And obviously you're the first person I go to. So.
I love it because it comes from such a genuine place, dude. You don't have to do that, and you still do it, and it's from a really cool place, from a really awesome friend. So I am so thankful for it, and we're sharing that love with you guys tonight before we cap off and get Beezus' last thoughts. Make sure you get those entries in. You can still get the entries in off stream. The winner will be, or winners, I should say, will be announced tomorrow. And if there's anything left over, I will find a way to distribute them in some other fashion.
I would run that. After 6 p.m. Eastern. I'll have those for you, and then you can distribute them to your community.
Sounds great. Sounds cool. Okay, well, yeah, man. Give us your final thoughts over E3 as a whole and what you thought.
Like it's like I can kind of segue off of the Bethesda conference to kind of like bring it all home.
Yeah.
But, Doom was probably the coolest thing that they announced at the Bethesda conference.
Yeah.
A lot of what they were announcing was mobile titles, and I'm not going to shit on mobile titles, but I don't think that press conferences is specifically like a show like E3 is a place to do it. And the other games that I'm excited for, it's with a grain of salt, because a lot of stuff is just like here's a trailer but no gameplay.
Right.
Like for example, there's two other Bethesda titles that were released that really, Deathloop was one of them. Deathloop looks really cool, but I can't get too excited for it because it's just a fancy gameplay trailer.
Right.
And there's another Ghostwire.
Yeah.
Ghostwire.
That little girl stole the show for that fucking conference. She was cute.
She was amazing. I love her. Her little gesture.
Yeah. It was great. It was a nice little cherry on the icing.
Spooky.
It's spooky.
Yeah. She was fucking adorable.
Was adorable. Yes, absolutely.
So, but yeah, like I want to get hyped for those games, but at the same time, like I want gameplay, man. Like that's what I expect to see.
That's what sells the players is gameplay, because that's what we're not going to be watching these things. You want to give us a cool CGI movie, by all means do that. But like, if you're going to be selling us a product, give us what we're going to be buying. Give us an idea of what we're going to be investing almost $100 of our money into, and
juxtapose that to something like Outer Worlds. Like they show you gameplay. I'm sold. I don't need to see anything else. I'm gonna buy the shit out of that game and I'm gonna play the fuck out of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like that right there is like for all you hardcore Fallout 4 fans, like that's the
game.
That's basically an indirect. That's a love letter to everyone who liked Fallout 4 before. The game we don't talk about. So I mean, there's that. So it's like that's what I want to see. But it was very lacking in content. I thought it was a little underwhelming. The best press conference, hands down, was the Xbox one. They showed a fuck ton of content.
Yeah.
So that was really good. Bethesda one was all right. And then just overall, like just the presence on the show floor, like it's a spectacle. But it's very red tape, a lot of closed doors, a lot of come and watch somebody play this game, and like when you compare it to that, like of a PAX where it's like a lot of engagement, a lot of playable games, a lot of developers that are there showcasing indie titles. Like I think as a gamer, it's not that great. Like I feel like E3, and you'll probably hear a lot of other people talk about this, analysts and shit like that. And I've heard this term get tossed around, and I agree with it. I feel like E3 right now is having a bit of an identity crisis in terms of what it really is.
Okay.
Because it initially started as business to business, And then they made it open to the public, and now it's like this weird thing of like, do we want to make it consumer friendly? Do we want to
Right.
make it like gamer friendly? Like it's odd. It's this unusual feeling of like it's like, what is this? What is this, a trade show? Is this like is this a show for consumers? Is this a show for people to come and buy stuff? Like it's a very unusual like feeling that you're there. And I feel like the general consensus is that the show is dying because towards like on the last day, it was Thursday was the last day. I was anticipating it to be fucking asses and elbows because what they did was it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. On Tuesday, what they did was they separate the gamer entry from the industry entry
Okay.
by like a few hours. So industry
wow.
can get in at 9 in the morning. Gamers couldn't get in until like 2.
Oh
And then they
shit.
closed that gap. Industry, it was always at 9, and then the next day gamers can get in at 12. And then on the last day, it was gamer and industry, everyone can get in at 9. So I was thinking, yo, fucking Thursday is going to be nuts all fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, it was very dead.
Wow,
It was
really?
vacant on Thursday. No one was there. Like, it was quite a fucking spectacle to see, man. Like one of the biggest examples that I like to refer to is Fortnite. Fortnite had a fucking ridiculously big booth, and it was really just Fortnite flexing. Hey, we're Fortnite. We're the richest game right now. We're the most highest grossing game.
Mm-hmm.
Look at our fucking amazing booth.
Right.
No one was there in that booth on day 3 of E3. No one.
Wow.
No one was there. And I like was walking around and I was looking at merch booths compared to PAX. Merch booths at PAX sell out day 1. And if you don't get your gear at PAX on day 1, you're fucked. Like, you're only going to get the scraps of what people don't want to buy on day 2 or day 3 of PAX.
Yeah.
Let's use a very specific example. Funko Pop on day 1 of PAX East, they sold out. They cleaned their booth.
Mm-hmm.
They had no product after. Day 3 at E3, they still had plenty of inventory.
What the fuck?
And I was thinking, man, that's a crazy, like, you know, like it's nuts. And I think a large part of that is like the cost of entry for a gamer badge. Now, I don't know what it was because fortunately, you know, I got supplemented by partners to get in.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that those fucking E3 badges are really expensive. So it's like, you know, you're paying all this money to get in there. And then, you know, there's things that happen that, like, you know, like just like it's just, for example, if I'm not mistaken, and this is not necessarily E3, and this is more of a venue problem, but I think at one point the power went out, so it caused the AC to go out.
Oh, shit. In California?
AC going out in California in a convention center where there's like thousands of people in a room, bro, that's a death room.
Fuck,
you know
dude, yeah.
But put yourself in the position of the person that spent a couple $100 to get there.
Yeah.
You're not gonna leave. You know what I'm saying? And some people only get day passes, so it's like their only opportunity to see everything that they want to fucking see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like, you know, that's another thing. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, they need to change something in order for it to appeal. Because at the rate, like, if what happens at E3 happens again next year, I'll be surprised if we see E3 2021.
Well, it's interesting because it seems like as the years have gone over and the convention has grown into this spectacle that it is now, they've put much more focus into production value and to making it the show that it is rather than the actual like on the boots or boots on the ground experience.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about, that's the direction they need to go back in, is the boots on the ground experience. Keep the spectacle, but maybe pull back the expenses a little bit and cater it to not just, well, you know, can't really cater it to one crowd because I think it has gotten to the size that it is because of the consumer interest, because of the player interest. And, you know, once it got open to the public, I mean, that was it. That was, you know, game over. This thing is going to be a public spectacle from here on out. Whether or not they're able to kind of make a, I don't know, maybe a separate E3 experience between business and consumer.
Exactly.
might
Yeah,
be the
yeah.
way to go.
Because like what you just described is the format that Gamescom does in Europe.
Okay.
They have a section for industry and they have a section for gamers, and it's like
Ah,
that. It works. It fucking works. You know what I'm saying? So if that might potentially be the direction that E3 would have to go down, because if they keep on using the format, like people are just not going to be excited for it anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it I don't know. It was rough. It was rough to see that. But I mean, mind you, I also am surrounded by a lot of industry folk that like they've been doing this for fucking decades. They're kind of
right.
jaded, so it's like I hear a lot of these discussions. So it might just be those conversations. But my very first E3, I have to say, I was fucking in heaven. I was like, bro, like I've always wanted to check this out.
It's gamer
It's just
mecca.
exactly, but like in a hard comparison to the other shows I've been to, like PAX is definitely like if you're a gamer, go to PAX. Don't go to E3. You could literally enjoy everything about E3 by watching all the press conferences online.
Yeah.
Like that's the truth. And I'm never going to steer anybody wrong. If you want an experience, go to PAX.
Okay. Fair enough. Hey, I would take your advice any day. You're the guy that gets to see all this shit firsthand. So I mean, and this is someone that has experienced both PAX and now E3. So I mean, we have the compare and contrast available now. So it's like, take your pick. As an influencer, maybe as you're growing as a streamer and stuff like that, maybe the more business oriented type gatherings and conventions are going to be more for you. Or if you're still like us that are trying to achieve, maybe some business success, but also maintaining that fandom and passion for gaming as a whole, sounds like PAX is the way to go.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, E3 as an event is definitely worth it. It's just the actual show floor convention is like, it's kind of
lacking.
It's just there. You know what I'm saying? It's very much like the thing that goes on, but what E3 really is everything that goes on around E3. Everything that happens like in the Staples Center, everything that happens in LA Live,
right?
Everything that happens in LA for that time period.
Yeah,
that's E3. You know what I'm saying? That is the true experience. Everything that happens off site, LA just becomes this big meeting place for industry, for people in the industry, for people in the video game industry specifically. So influencers, developers. You go to E3 to get meetings. You go to E3 to meet people that you want. You go to E3 to sell your game. You go to E3 to network as an influencer. So that's what E3 is for.
Yeah.
E3 is not a consumer thing. E3 is not like I want to go try a game, because like a game that's going to be playable at E3 is going to be playable at either PAX East or PAX West, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Anything that Ubisoft shows at E3, more likely they're going to show it at a PAX. They're going to show like in some capacity. Get what I'm saying? So, like that. I mean, and don't get me wrong, there's still playable shit. It's just like it's not as much as you would get from PAX, hands down.
I can agree with that. Or I can at least get on board with what you're saying. And hell, dude, I mean, at this point, I will count my blessings to be able to experience anything. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way. But I think in general, I mean, just kind of like you said, being able to experience all the good stuff through through the press conferences online and everything. I mean, that's really kind of the bread and butter of E3, of just getting the announcements, getting to maybe see some trailers and some demos, at least as far as what the consumer is concerned with, and kind of seeing what's on the horizon for some of these companies that we follow, that we respect, and that we look up to. And there's all this other outlying stuff like PAX and like a Gamescom where you can actually go and meet other gamers and try out the games and stuff. And it's just the fact that we have these events and that we have these experiences available to us is awesome. And I think that just being able to take advantage of any of it is a good thing for everyone involved.
Yeah, man. So just to while I say deuces, the next event, I'm actually, the end of my July is.
That was my next question.
I'm gonna be going to the Intel Extreme Masters, which is in
Oh.
Chicago. I'm going to QuakeCon, which is in
Ah,
Dallas,
fuck.
and then I'm gonna be going to SIGGRAPH, which is in Los Angeles as well. I'm
I'm
gonna be
not
going
familiar
back.
with that one.
SIGGRAPH is a little bit more of a techie
Okay.
convention, a little bit more of like people showing off their software that they use to like make games and things like
Okay.
that. So it's a little bit more of like the the behind the curtains, if you will, like
Yeah.
the dudes selling Unity and shit like that. The people,
Ah,
the
okay.
dudes making Unreal, like the next thing.
Right.
For example, there's a company that we work with named Speedtree, and this company, the only thing that this company does is digital trees. That's it. That's their specialty. But when you look at their resume, that shit is stacked. And just to top it off, they did the foliage for Black Panther,
For the movie Black Panther?
the movie Black
God
Panther.
damn.
Yeah, so it's like they're very well like they're put it this way, if you see a movie and there's a tree in the background, chances are Speed Tree, they were in there and they made those trees. If
Well,
you play a video game and there's trees in that game, chances are Speed Tree like did that. Like it's and those are the kinds of companies that you run into at SIGGRAPH.
that's
So
crazy.
so that naturally being a high-end manufacturing PC manufacturing company, we want to try to align ourselves with people who could utilize high-end
Yeah.
hardware, not just for video gaming but for creation of those kinds of things that are very intensive on hardware. So that's my reason for being there. But I mean, that's a little bit more of the professional industry, still going to be fun.
Yeah.
But in terms of the man, I can't believe I have to work. Intel Extreme Masters, that's gonna be fantastic. And QuakeCon is like, boy, I'm excited for QuakeCon.
Oh man, that was probably one that I was really trying to get to go to, but I can't make it out that way that time of the year. But well, we know where you'll be afterwards.
Yeah, man. So obviously, I'm always down to do these recaps with you, man. I'm definitely down to. I mean, the next time we talk, it'll probably have to be like a 1, 2, 3. It'll probably have to be an extended episode because, again, like those events I just fired off of you, those happen within a week from each other.
Oh shit! God damn.
Yeah. So
dude.
yeah, no, it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be the most traveling I've ever done in the shortest amount of time. Intel Extreme Masters is first. That's from July 19th to the 21st. I come home on the 22nd. On the 25th, I fly out to Dallas for QuakeCon.
Jesus.
And then literally from Dallas to I go from Dallas to LA. Like I don't even come home after QuakeCon.
What the
I go
fuck?
directly from Dallas to LA. So it's gonna be kooky, bro.
You're a busy
It's gonna
busy
be
man.
wild. I'm a busy man, bro.
Busy man. But hey, I could not be more grateful for you sharing your time with us on the show as much as you do, man. Keep an eye out, guys. Bezos is going to be a recurring character on the show.
And I appreciate that, man. Really, I do. And like all the people that the Full Metal Gaming crew, all those guys are cool as fuck, man. So I love the people you introduced me to, and obviously we have mutual friends, man. So
Hell yeah.
I consider you a close friend, Paul. I mean, I fucking call you by your real name because you're a brother to me, dog.
That's me, man. Well, Brian, I love having you on, dude. You're always welcome on the Sick Boy Lounge. Any given time you have something to talk about. You have amazing stories, and you're an amazing storyteller. I keep trying to tell this guy, you guys need to get on his ass. He needs to start his own podcast soon. So
I appreciate that, buddy. All right, man. Well, till next time, the Sick Boy Lounge, Sick Boy crew. I love all you people. You guys.
Adios, brother.
All right, brother.
Love you, man.
Soon, man.
See ya. All right, guys. That was my boy Bezos. And what else can I say about the guy? He's living the dream, dude. He's living the dream, and he comes back and tells us all his crazy stories. And I couldn't be more grateful for it. He's an awesome dude. He works for an amazing company. If you have not looked into Origin PC, do yourself a favor and do so. Do so. They're good at what they do, and they're good at what they do for a reason. They actually used to be Alienware. So if you're familiar with the glory days of Alienware, this is the same company, basically. It's the same group of people running Origin that used to run the good old glory days of Alienware. So people that know what they're doing, people that have been doing it for a very long time, and people that are going to go out of their way to help you out. If you have questions about your order or about anything, they have 24/7 support. I mean, they're an awesome company. So definitely look into Origin PC if you're in the market for a new computer, a new gaming computer, a new workstation for your creative efforts, whatever it may be. So, okay, guys, that's it. This ran a little longer than I anticipated, but I'm not mad. We got into a lot of really cool talk. We got to talk about a lot of really cool shit with Beezus and about all the things that went on over at E3 and all the future events that are going to be coming up. We'll be recapping all that shit here on the Sick Boy Lounge. So stay tuned. Make sure you're following the channel. Don't forget to get those entries in. You have until 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Use the command enter here in the chat to get entered to win your copy of Borderlands The Handsome Collection for PC. All right, guys, that is going to do it for us tonight. Tune in this Saturday. I'll have a new guest in Booty Magic. He's a lovable motherfucker who plays a lot of Overwatch on his streams, and we're going to be talking about his content and his channel. And I'm going to have a new featured artist for you guys, always featuring new bands, mostly within the metal genre. But if you're in a band, you play a different style of music. If you're a songwriter, if you're a musician of some capacity, and you want to showcase your music, you want to get it out in front of a new audience, send it to me. I'll feature you on the show. That's what the spotlight's there for. I just really like death metal, so those are the bands that I seek out. But if you want to reach out to me, I'm definitely opening to sharing whatever music you're producing, as long as you're passionate about it, and as long as you're putting in your due diligence and the work to make sure that it's a decent project and that you're proud of it, then I'll be more than happy to support you. So, okay, this coming Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. All right, motherfuckers, stay sick.